Right, 18 July 2024, and today I will be giving you a quick update. As I have explained, I'm currently on the road, so let me give you an update on a very interesting story, and this story is going to be the beginning of something very big. As you know, we've been talking about Pastor Takunda Murove for a very long time, and Pastor Takunda Murove was killed in Mavuku last year, and Scott Sakupwanya was involved in that case. We've been talking about this for a very long time. The murder of Pastor Takunda Murove is going to be solved, and eventually we're going to know exactly what happened. And things are starting to happen. So for the guys on other platforms, I'm going to give you pictures, but currently I'm displaying the picture of Scott Sakupwanya, who is the MP of Mavuku. Scott Sakupwanya was elected after the recall of the legitimate CCC MP for the area. And during that process of the by-election, Pastor Takunda Murove was abducted by employees who were driving Fortuner vehicles and also open Toyota vehicles. So today I'm going to take you through a very complicated case involving Matthew Musengezi. This case is bizarre, but it involves Scott Sakupwanya and other ZANU-PF players. It also involves a young man called Fally Ipupa. And Fally Ipupa is one of the well-known people in Harare. He owns a car dealer called Prada Motors. So Matthew Musengezi is one of the ZANU-PF people. He was protected by heavily and highly linked ZANU-PF players. And I'm talking here about people very close to Mnangagwa and the kids, the twins of Mnangagwa. So Matthew Musengezi, they've been involved in a lot of things since way back in the past, including fraud, and they are living the high life. So the people that I'm talking about here are living some of the most flamboyant lifestyles in Zimbabwe. They drive top of the range cars. So you can see with Scott Sakupwanya here standing with the luxury car, Fally Ipupa standing here with the luxury car. Fally Ipupa is the father of the daughter of Nelia Kadungure. Nelia Kadungure is the sister of Ginimbi, and Ginimbi was married to Zodwa Mkandla. Zodwa Mkandla is a serious ZANU-PF funder and fundraiser. So everyone that I'm talking about here is in a circle which is closely knit and close to Mnangagwa. And currently, the only reason why we're seeing this case is because there's been a fallout between Matthew Musengezi and closely linked ZANU-PF players. Matthew Musengezi lives one of the most expensive lifestyles. He drives expensive cars, but for the past 20 days, Matthew Musengezi has been in jail. He was briefly released on Monday and was arrested immediately and thrown back into jail. And this is because of a conflict with Scott Sakupwanya. They had a fallout with Scott Sakupwanya and other players within ZANU-PF. And currently, the case which is before the courts, it is to do with a Toyota Fortuner vehicle. And I believe that this is one of the vehicles that was involved in the abduction of Pastor Takunda Murove. This vehicle was sold at the garage of Fally Ipupa. And Fally Ipupa, as I said, is one of the ZANU-PF connected people. You can see him with a scarf over there. And he was also married to Nelia Kadungure. So the complainant in this case is Prince Takunda Murove, who works for Better Brands. And Better Brands is a company that is owned by Scott Sakupwanya. The Toyota Fortuner in question is AGE 5418. And this car was sold, as I said, in the garage of Fally Ipupa. Fally Ipupa then got a visit from the police who took the car. But when they took that car, which had been given to Fally Ipupa by Musengezi, they also found out that Musengezi had another car at the garage, a Ford Ranger 2020. And they investigated that car. So now 2 cars were being sold by Fally Ipupa on behalf of Matthew Musengezi. And these 2 cars were then taken by the police. The police were following up on the Toyota Fortuner. But on investigation, they found out that the Ford Ranger was not imported correctly into Zimbabwe. And they then got the history of the Ford Ranger, but they were not originally looking for the Ford Ranger. They were originally looking for the Toyota Fortuner, which had a fight between Scott Sakupwanya and Matthew Musengezi. So I want you guys to understand that the case which they are dealing with right now has got nothing to do with the Toyota Fortuner. In fact, the Toyota Fortuner was bought by Matthew Musengezi from a ZIMRA customs rummage cell. So that Toyota Fortuner is clean. However, because of the fallout between Matthew Musengezi and Scott Sakupwanya, that is why it was reported to the police. And as Scott, they thought Kuti Musengezi had done the same thing on the Fortuner. Unfortunately, he had not done that to the Fortuner. And now we've got 2 cars which are being investigated, the Fortuner and the Ford Ranger. And as I said to you, eventually you're going to see that the Fortuner was involved in the abduction and murder of Pastor Tafmane Masaya. So remember that the case of Pastor Tafmane Masaya is going to present the downfall of an Scott because they don't want to deal with it. Everything is going to fall apart around Scott Sakupwanya until he deals with the case of Pastor Tafmane Masaya. So now let me take you through what happened with the Ford Ranger. On 1 September 2023, Matthew Musengezi imported the Ford Ranger from South Africa, but he did not pay duty for it. On 7 September 2023, Matthew Musengezi then went to VID in Eastleigh, and he claimed that he had bought parts from a company in Guruve, which he wanted to use to rebuild a Ford Ranger. On the same day, he went to Harare port of ZIMRA and was granted an import clearance, an import clearance certificate. This means this car was now a rebuilt car. It was not an imported car. And therefore, he was able to take this Ford Ranger, the garage of Fally Ipupa, where they sold the car. So they were selling the car at the garage of Fally Ipupa. At the same time, Matthew Musengezi had taken the Toyota to Fally Ipupa's garage, where it was sold. So the car was sold to Better Brands, which belongs to Scott Sakupwanya. So that was around September. And as you know, the murder of Pastor Tafmane Masaya. So let's look at the date of the murder of Pastor Tafmane Masaya. So I want to look Masaya murder and abduction. I just want to get the correct date here, but I believe that it was around December. So he was kidnapped on 11 November. So that means the murder of Pastor Tafmane Masaya was around 11 or 12 November. And all these cases happened around September the 7th. This means this car is most likely one of the cars that was involved in the murder and abduction of Pastor Tafmane Masaya. And the employee of Scott Sakupwanya, Prince Takunda Murove, then after a fallout with Anna Musengezi, they made a report to the police, to Zach. Zach then went to the garage of Fally Ipupa, where they recovered both cars that belonged to Musengezi. So whatever car Musengezi was selling, they tried to get those cars, resulting in the current case. But you can see now we're in what? In July, which means all these cases are coming up because of what has happened. There's been a massive fallout between Musengezi and various connected ZANU-PF individuals. And this case is very bizarre. It's a very strange case. Right now, as we speak, the judge has refused to release Musengezi. However, ZIMRA had said Musengezi should be released on bail. This case has got nothing to do with someone spending time in jail. Musengezi has been in jail for over 20 days. And the judge has got no right to stop the state from granting bail. However, after the state granted bail, the magistrate said he was not going to grant bail, although the state had consented to bail. So this is a heavily political case involving connected parties. Scott Sakupwanya, Matthew Musengezi, Mnangagwa, the twins, Zodo Mkandla. So all the players that I have given you here, they are heavily connected. Look at the scarves. There is Fally Ipupa with the scarf. There is Nelia Kadungure with the Mnangagwa t-shirt. There is Scott Sakupwanya with the scarf. So this is a crazy case involving ZANU-PF and connected people. But all I can assure you is that the case of Pastor Tafmani Masaya is going to be solved, and these guys are not going to go to no rest as long as that case is not solved. And this car, this particular Toyota Fortuner, I believe that it was one of the cars used in the abduction of Pastor Tafmani Masaya, or it was one of the cars in the neighborhood during that day. I now want to take you to Musengezi himself. Musengezi is in jail right now. He's been in remand for 20 days. Let's see what happens to Musengezi. Musengezi has made the mistake of suing some people in ZANU-PF. And I'm going to be digging deeper into that case as I reveal or receive more information about what has happened to Musengezi. But this case is one of those political cases where the legal system of Zimbabwe is being used against people that were originally protected. So Musengezi was previously protected by the ZANU-PF system, but now they are turning against him. Musengezi has got so many cases, including a fraud case involving 2 million that was taken from a Chinese woman way back in the day, which he managed to get away with. There was also a case of hit and run, which was revived last week, and on which he was acquitted, but immediately afterwards was arrested. So that case was just used to bring him into jail. So Musengezi, Scott Sakupwanya, Fally Ipupa, all these people, they are involved in this case. And we will see more, because I believe that this Toyota Fortuner is linked to the murder of Pastor Tafmani Masaya, which Police Commissioner Godwin Matanga is refusing to investigate. We've been telling you guys that I've personally written to Matanga myself to make sure that he investigates this case. He has not done it on the orders of Mnangagwa to not investigate this case. The murder of Pastor Tafmani Masaya, who was abducted in Mavuku while handing out flyers, doing nothing but handing out flyers. So this is the case which is causing all these issues. And I can assure you that Musengezi, Fally Ipupa, all these guys, and Scott Sakupwanya, they will eventually come out with the truth about this case. Because Irku Pisa, case here, Pastor Tafmani Masaya is hot, and it's not going to rest. Everyone involved in this case is eventually going to be destroyed. I can assure you that Better Brains is going to be at the center of it. You are going to see Better Brains and Scott Sakupwanya involved in so many cases because of this case. This is one of the worst mistakes that these guys have made, the murder of Pastor Tafmani Masaya. So I'll be chasing this and following this very, very closely and giving you the other side. Now, let's go to other quick cases. I need to leave. General Chiwenga is going to be in Nicaragua, where they're celebrating independence tomorrow. So Nicaragua has recently opened an embassy in Zimbabwe, this month, in fact, and tomorrow is the Independence Day. So General Chiwenga is going to be over there. Then in another case, Fresh Fire Ministries founder, this apostle here, has been implicated in the theft of 10,500 from Monica Memory Makumbe, and he's called Apostle Desmond Parirewa or Gracefold. He's been granted $100 bail after he sold a stand that belongs to Goromonzi Road District Council. And when this month, in fact, this month he was arrested. In February, Monica tried to register the stand and she found out that he did not own the stand. So she's been developing this stand for the past 3 years, only to find out that this evil man of God has been lying to her, that he owns the stand. Then let's look at other stories here. Let me see, is there anything? So there is a very strange story in Harare. And I want you guys to look at this story. It's one of the most bizarre stories that I've ever seen. So this story is in the Herald newspaper. Okay, I think it's in the Herald newspaper. It's actually in H Metro newspaper. So apologies about that. This story is in the H Metro newspaper. And a thief or a hijacker has taken this car, which I'm displaying here. It's a Ford Ranger GD6. The car was taken from Edmo Bunu, who is 32 years old. Edmo Bunu and his child were in the car, a baby. So when he got to the gate, he started to hoot for his wife to get out, open the gate, and she failed. So she walked to the gate to manually open the gate, and she failed. So Edmo Bunu got out of the car, and with his wife, they tried to open the gate manually. Whilst they were attempting to do this, a man appeared from nowhere and ran into the car and took the car and reversed out of their gate towards Warbury Road. Bunu started to chase the car, desperately shouting for help. The thief briefly stopped and left a child or the baby at the side of the road along Warbury Road. While still running, Bunu stumbled and fell, injuring his left arm, which allowed the car thief to escape. Bunu said he lost $1,300 cash, which was on the seat, and a Samsung S24 cell phone. So police are requesting anyone who spots the stolen car to call the police, and they've given the phone numbers of the police here where you can call. So I didn't know that the police in Harare have got a number, because when you try to call them, you never get an answer. However, because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you guys the number of the police so that next time when you have a problem, I just want you guys to know the police number, so you're going to take it down. Because in Harare, you know, a lot of things happen. So let me give you guys the numbers of the police here. I'm giving you this as a, because it's very rare to get these numbers. 305651. So if you've got a pen, or if you want to record this number, I'm going to put this number for you here. So this is the number of the police, Harare operations, right? That's Melbourne police station there. And then let me give you Harare operations so that you can have this number. I'm just giving you this because I know how hard it is to get this number, 748836. So I'm going to give you this number again. There are two numbers of the police. So put this number in your phone, just in case you need a number, Yema Purisa in Harare. So I've given you guys the number. This is Harare operations. So if you have ever got a problem in Harare and you need police, put that number in your phone, 0242748836. Because sometimes you get stuck and you need police, and you've got no way of answering, talking to the police. So 0242748836. That's Harare operations of the police if you need it. So anyway, that is besides the point. So the baby was found, lucky enough, but young man here, Edmo Bunu, 32, has lost his new Hilux GD6. So I don't know who is he and how he got a GD6 at 32 years old. Because I know my Madara and 60 years, and I got Toyota Corolla Chaibo. They don't have it. It's tough in Harare. But these youngsters, Edmo Bunu, they've got a GD6, they've got 1,300 with their seat. So I don't know, probably intelligence people here involved, or people these days, because anyway, a lot is happening in Zimbabwe. So let's recap and let's take it to the story that I was talking about. Scott Sakupwanya, his employee, has made a report to the police. So that is what I believe happened here. And he's called Prince Takunda Murove. Prince Takunda Murove was driving the car, a Toyota Fortuner, which was bought from Fally Ipupa. Fally Ipupa is the father of Nelia Kadungure's daughter. And Scott Sakupwanya, who owned the car, then obviously after making that report, resulting in the police going to Fally Ipupa's car dealership, this resulted in the arrest of Matthew Musengezi, a flamboyant car dealer who has been in jail for the past 20 days for importing a Ford Ranger that is not related to the actual case. So the Toyota Fortuner is actually legally in Zimbabwe because Musengezi bought that car from the ZIMRA custom auction. So it was just unfortunate that Musengezi had done a corrupt deal where he imported the Ford Ranger and sold it through Fally Ipupa. The question then is, why is Fally Ipupa not arrested? Why is Scott Sakupwanya and Peter Brands not arrested? Because they're the ones with the car. You cannot arrest Musengezi and leave everyone else in the chain. So obviously this is a political case. But as I said to you, I believe that this car is the one that was used in the abduction and murder of Pastor Takunda Murove. This is one of the cars of Scott Sakupwanya that was used in the murder and abduction of Pastor Takunda Murove. But we're going to see these things. These things are going to come up. They're going to eventually surface. And I want to give you the number plate of that car. It's Toyota Fortuner AGE 5418. So that is the vehicle that is involved in this case. But the Ford Ranger itself, which was imported illegally, I do not know what is the number plate of that car, because obviously it was a rebuilt car. So it's probably not one of the cars involved in this case. And it was not yet registered because it was in the car dealership. Or it was registered, but it was not being driven. And Fally Ipupa, they are living a life, but they don't work. They don't do anything meaningful in their lives, except they're dealers and runners. Scott Sakupwanya, according to my sources, has been involved in the importation of over 500 cars without paying duty. And this includes Mnangagwa. That is why you see that these cases are very difficult to solve, because everyone in this chain is close to Mnangagwa. They're involved in the circle of Mnangagwa. When I was telling you, Kuti, Mnangagwa's office is a criminal enterprise. The president's office is being used for importing of cars. I've said this to you in the past. This is the second time people are being arrested in Mnangagwa's office relating to the importation of cars. I don't know why these guys like cars so much, but they love luxury cars, and that is what they do most of the time. So I'm gonna have to jump. I've got a trip right now. I need to move. I'm on the road this week. So what we need to do is let's watch this case of Matthew Musengezi. Musengezi should be able to get out of jail jail today. This is not the case. This is a political case. So there's something bigger behind happening, and we'll see what is that bigger thing that is happening, and we'll be watching very, very closely. So today I'm not going to do a lot more. Let me quickly look at the newspapers. Let's look at Newsday newspaper. Newsday newspaper has got a very bizarre story where Mnangagwa has asked the parks, Zim parks, to allow King Mutapa to conduct rituals at Matopos. So you can go and look at that story in Newsday newspaper. You know that Mnangagwa has appointed a guy called Timothy Chimenya to be King Mutapa. He's now asked Zimpax to allow Chimenya to conduct a bira or rituals inside Matopos. So that is probably going to happen at Mjelele or whatever. I do not know what they're planning to do over there. The names of other people who are involved is listed. You can go and check out in Newsday newspaper that story. Then let's see if there's another story that I've not covered here, which is worth covering. I think for now, those are the stories that I wanted to cover. In South Africa, Jacob Zuma has been called for a hearing by the ANC. So that case will be also following that story. So I think we've got a lot that is happening. But remember, also SADC countries have been sending their people into Zimbabwe to check if their presidents are going to be safe. I believe that we're going to have a massive announcement from SADC this week, which is going to change everything about Mnangagwa. So let's watch what's happening. But ZANU-PF under Mnangagwa is not serving any purpose to the people of Zimbabwe. They just do their own thing. Everything that Mnangagwa is involved in is for himself and the people close to him. They've got no interest in the people of Zimbabwe. And the sooner these guys are out, the better. We have got a government that has got no plan. Mnangagwa has got no plan to do anything for the people. And it's very sad. Zimbabweans don't see it. In fact, Zimbabweans see it, but what can they do? It's crazy. We've got here pure evidence that if we have a new government, our country is going to be one of the best countries. Zimbabwe, I have no doubt, is going to do very, very well under a new government. The guys we have here are not saving the country. They're not saving the people of Zimbabwe. So thank you very much for watching. And I want to see if there's anyone greeting me here before I go. Thank you very much, everyone, for all your assistance. Mkoma Clement, thank you very much. Mkoma Oscar, thank you very much. Mkoma Oscar is saying, Gambakwe unungu wawata. Zvaunotaura hazvinakana kwazvinoenda. Right now, Musengezi is in jail. As we speak, 20 days. Scott Sakupwanya is involved in that case. Better Brands is involved. The car that was involved, the Fortuner, is probably one of the cars that are involved in the murder and abduction of Pastor Messiah. I don't know, Mkoma, what else you want me to say. All I can say to you is, it makes me so sad that Mnangagwa is allowed to do what he's doing. I do not know who supports Mnangagwa. But Muniye akaita say. Oscar B. Moya, you are probably being paid to type these things. Do not support something that is destroying the future of our children. So, Anamkoma Robert, Anamkoma Oscar, we are going to free you from the shackles of poverty, because what I've seen is most people who support Mnangagwa, they are very poor people. They've got nothing. But they're just like us. They want a country that works. If you go Kumbabana Robert, your brothers are not working, your sisters are not working. You probably don't have a house. You don't have a future. You've got multiple people outside the country. We are trying to explain to you what Zimbabwe can be better. You can do better. Your country can do so well. Most South Africans don't have a passport. They don't dream of ever leaving the country. But we've got so many people in Zimbabwe who have left. That's why we're trying to help you guys. And the country that we need to build is going to do very, very well without people being murdered, like Anna Pastor Messiah. And we will not stop to Pastor Messiah. And I can tell you, Kuti, before, very, very soon, Pambera, you remember Pastor Messiah. You cannot just kill him and it's not wrap up. It's going to be amazing what is going to happen. What you're going to see around Scott Sakupwanya, vanhu vese vari involved in case yakusakupwanya. Munhu wese akabata Maria Scott, ana Chigumba, ana Wikinel, all these people. Maria idzodzo dzavakabata muchadzitsveta. So it makes me laugh because I know what is going to happen. Kuchapisa. Ndakatsanangura kuti vamwe vachati vachipinda muofisi vachasvika makagara vanhu vasingazivi muofisi imomo, kana kuti uchidhiraivha mota yako ukatarisa kuback seat uchaona zvimwe zvinotyisa. But I don't want to kunetsana nemi ana Mukoma Oscar B because muri pabasa hapana zvamunoziva. So anyway, I need to go. I want to probably come back in the evening. Let's see what Sadak has done and said, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And for all the guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, a good day to you all. And for